What's good, Shadow Gang? Welcome back to another video. If y'all new here, please subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. Follow me on my Instagram at Ricky the Shadow. And yeah, let's get right into it. Um, so we're gonna react to the sudden end of Mandy Rose's WWE career. Now, I haven't done a reaction in like quite a few while. It's been a minute since I actually done a reaction. I've been trying to focus more doing my own videos. But yeah, man, we're gonna get right into it. The only reason why I want to do this reaction is because it's Mandy Rose, and y'all know if you see my previous videos that I made, I always talked about how Mandy Rose should have never got fired, even though she, in my opinion, I just didn't care that much. So to me, I felt like it wasn't that big of a deal considering the fact WWE done worse shit, So yeah, we're gonna react to. Oh wait, what channel is this? I think I seen a couple videos. What? Sportsketic Wrestling. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I have seen videos from this channel before. So yeah, enough with the intro though. Let's get right into it. And yeah, happy holidays, y'all. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna release this the day after Christmas. So, well, it's gonna be after Christmas, that's for sure. So
This
yeah.
is Mandy Rhodes, a fixture of WWE's women's division in the late 2010s, and someone that clearly had a lot of potential. It was a slow and steady grind for Mandy within WWE, and just when it seemed like she had finally hit her stride, it truly turned over a new leaf and developed into what could be a future top-tier main eventer. It all came to an end. So what exactly went wrong for Mandy in WWE? Well, that's what we're here to find out. This is Sports Key to Wrestling, and we're going to look at the unfortunate and abrupt decline of Mandy Rose in WWE. Let us know what you think in the comments below. The real-life Mandy Sakamano began her wrestling career as a fish out of water, starting off as a fitness model and making the switch to pro wrestling in 2015, coming to WWE's attention through their Tough Enough reality series, which was revived at the time, where hopefuls would compete in a reality TV scenario for a WWE superstar contract. Rose, who was placed second in the competition overall, would impress enough to earn herself a 5-year contract with WWE. She was also added to the cast of the E-reality series Total Divas in the start of 2016 before even wrestling a match on WWE television. She made her NXT TV debut in August of 2016, teaming with Alexa Bliss and Sonya Deville in a losing effort against the team of Liv Morgan, Nikki Cross, and Carmella. Whether her skill level warranted it or not, Mandy got a main roster call-up in November of that year, teaming with Paige and Sonya Deville to form a group known as Absolution.
I remember
the trio, though exciting a little bit, didn't exactly set the world on fire in WWE, given the company had already tried the entire formula of trios of random women put together and having some isolated, cohesive purpose, especially during the women's evolution with Team Bad, Team PCB, Team Bellas. You kind of see where we're going here. Not to mention that another 3-woman team, the Riot Squad, featuring Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan, Liv Morgan, was also active in WWE around this time. In her first year on the main roster, Rose was an entrant in the inaugural Women's Royal Rumble match and competed in the first ever Women's Elimination Chamber match. It was a good time to be in WWE and women's wrestling. She also made her short WrestleMania debut in a Women's Battle Royal match. It wouldn't be her most memorable WrestleMania moment, though. We'll get to that later. Following her time in Absolution, Rose was a part of an awkward romantic storyline involving Naomi and her real-life husband, Jimmy Uso. This was pretty cringeworthy, kind of trashy reality TV show stuff, but a soap opera angle in the soap opera of wrestling. Mandy would soon rejoin her longtime tag team partner from the Absolution days, Sonya Deville, entering the Elimination Chamber with the goal of becoming the inaugural WWE Women's Tag Team Champions.
Which I'm
the
surprised
duo,
they never
dubbed
became
Fire
tag
and
champs.
Desire, would come up short as Bayley and Sasha Banks walked out with the titles. At this point in her career, Mandy had never enjoyed much in terms of championship success, but was still present for several significant moments as WWE's women's division truly evolved. Despite some limitations that some fans saw in her in-ring work, she was still undeniably improving, even drawing some comparisons to Trish Stratus.
She was doing also in the crazy part of she was doing like right before she got released, she was in her Trish Stratus arc. Let me tell you why. Let's be real. A big reason why they hired this woman is because she was attractive and she has blonde hair. That was the same thing for Trish. Now, just like Trish, she was improving slowly. And by the time she went down to NXT, she was in her Trish Stratus. She was NXT Women's Champ. She was doing good with matches. She was getting over. She was putting eyes on the product. Like, she was in her Trish Stratus arc. I'm not gonna lie. She a hot, sexy woman that not that good in the ring, but is improving. And then by the time you know it, boom, she's killing it, and you can argue she could have been one of the best women's champ, and I think you could. If she was doing what she did in NXT, if she was doing it on Raw or SmackDown, I genuinely feel like we would be talking about her as one of the best to ever do it. I'm
The
gonna be
leap to
honest.
professional
That's how
wrestling
good she was.
from the fitness model world. But wait, what's that? Can you hear it? It's coming. It sounds big. Oh yeah,
This was dope.
Wait a minute. Yeah, it's Otis.
Yeah.
In 2019, Rose would find herself involved with the Heavy Machinery Tag Team, and they're bulldozing Otis, who was somewhat of a sweetheart to her. The two had agreed on Valentine's Day to a date. Yes, what an odd pairing. Before the big man was replaced by Dolph Ziggler, the storyline would continue into WWE's pandemic era with no fans present. It was lighthearted mid-card fare, and she excellently played her role, leading into a match at WrestleMania 36, which unfortunately didn't have any fans present for it. They
Imagine
had
the
quite the
fans, they would've
storyline.
popped
This
for
was
him and
probably
Mandy.
one of the better romantic storylines WWE had presented in quite
Yes,
some
and it
years,
wasn't even
and
in front of
Rose was benefiting
fans.
from it. With the conspiring Sonya Deville, who disapproved of Otis and Mandy's union,
I thought
also
they
at
were going,
ringside,
she was
Otis
in
would
love with Mandy. I thought they were going that route, you know. Which I'm surprised Vince McMahon's dumb weird ass didn't do that. She's like, oh, I guess I'm like.
best
'Cause
of
you
the
know he's
sneaky
into
and
that shit,
conniving
lesbian
Ziggler,
shit.
with Mandy taking
shout out
care
to
of Sonya.
Sonya, you know.
Sadly, this wasn't the end.
We don't
The
judge
actual
here.
end of the feud came following a backstage attack and an impromptu haircut on Mandy, courtesy of Deville, her
Yeah.
former tag team partner. Mandy would get her revenge at SummerSlam, taking down Sonya in a loser leaves WWE match.
And it's funny because I remember it was supposed to be loser loses their hair match, but Sonya went through something crazy. I think someone tried to kidnap her actually, and she went crazy. She didn't time off, so that's how they made it a loser leaves WWE match. So that's really crazy, man. But good thing Sonya's still good though.
This was the biggest match of Mandy and Sonya Deville's career so far, and it was certainly special that the two of them coming up together got to experience it together. She would go on to form a tag team with
Which I
NXT
thought that
alum
would work too
and
right here.
another former fitness model in Dana Brooke in 2021. Mandy got a chance to compete at WrestleMania 37 in a tag team turmoil match, which was alright.
Yeah.
Granted, the wrestling world was talking about Mandy that night, but maybe for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Or just one reason. Mandy falling on her backside during her walk down
I mean,
on
it was
the
raining
entrance
that day.
ramp. Yes, just as WWE returned in front of live fans, this little botcheroony was something that people would share, and it was a meme and blah, blah, blah. The internet does internet things. So let's not rag on poor Mandy not too long over this. It was an accident, probably quite embarrassing. Not to mention the rain earlier in the night at the
Exactly.
stadium, probably being something that affected it. Still, it was a moment, a memorable, humorous
Damn, Dana
one
has
that
a
people
tattoo
kind
on her
of
ass cheek.
put up there with the Titus World slide a few years prior. After this, the team of Rose and Brooke would dissolve. And Mandy, though, would take an interesting move. Some would see it maybe as a demotion, but she saw it as a special opportunity and ran with it in WWE's developmental
Here we go.
territory once again back in NXT. At this point, you're probably wondering exactly how did WWE maybe not get the best of Mandy Rose on the main roster? All things considered, it seemed like she had a decent run up until this point, especially when some consider that she had a limited skill set, but still an undeniable personality. We also have to go back to a time that some fans don't want to remember. They want to block it out from their memory. WWE NXT 2.0. I know, we're sorry,
She was the only good part about it.
but it's necessary, and that reboot of NXT was necessary. The maligned at the time reboot of WWE's third brand to focus less on an all-star cast of independent wrestling names to a more purely developmental catch-all of in-house talent has proven to be successful for WWE, but at the time, fans weren't feeling it. It felt like a really big, uneasy time for NXT. And NXT 2.0 is where Mandy Rhodes got her chance, though, to show everything that she learned on WWE's main roster. Returning to NXT allowed her to be featured more. Rose would form a group known as Toxic Attraction, with the deviant Gigi Dolan and JC Jane, a career-defining run for Mandy. She would take the group forward in NXT's rebrand, which began in September of 2021. She soon captured the NXT Women's Championship, her first singles title in WWE, besting Raquel Rodriguez, then known as Raquel Gonzalez, in a trick-or-treat street fight.
No,
yes, chosen by Chucky. Yes, that Chucky, the fictional murderous doll from the child. Yes, chosen by Chucky. Yes, that. In a trick-or-treat street fight. Yes, chosen by Chucky. Yes, that Chucky, the fictional murderous doll from the Child's Play movie franchise, which was getting a TV series. And, of course, the same Chucky who is Rick Steiner's good friend from WCW. This all took place at Halloween Havoc 2021, because where else would it happen? And kicked off a 400-day plus reign for Rose as NXT's top women's champion. In her time with the title, Mandy showed vast improvements in the ring and on the mic. She was doing it and proving that she could do it at the highest level in NXT. This rubbed off on Toxic.
Trish Stratus should have came. If she wouldn't have went to the main roster right after this run, they should have done a Trish Stratus versus Mandy Rose match.
Toxic Attraction, who would capture the NXT Women's Tag Team titles soon after, establishing complete dominance for the trio in NXT's women's division. Toxic Attraction is the attraction, Rose would say, on a weekly basis, and you couldn't dispute the claim. They were one of the top acts on NXT.
They the reason
were a
why I watched
consistent,
NXT
dominant
2.0.
highlight of a very hard transitional period for NXT, with Rose as a sneaky, conniving, yet dominant women's champion taking...
No ads.
Want to reconnect with an old flame? With Spokio, you can reconnect with the past and discover what they're up to now.
Down most of the very young developmental roster, with the likes of Io Sky and Roxanne Perez falling to her will. Mandy was then chosen to unify the NXT and NXT UK Women's Championships in September of 2022, taking on the very game Blair Davenport and the iconic Maiko Satomura in a triple threat match at the NXT Worlds Collide event. Rose would be victorious in this winner-take-all triple threat, a further cementing of her place in NXT, lending more credibility to the Toxic Attraction trio, and starting to stir up some people saying that maybe Mandy was bound for bigger things back on Raw and SmackDown, among some fans and some circling conversations. As her reign passed the 1-year mark, Mandy found herself defending at Halloween Havoc. Her opponent, Alba Fire, the recently rebranded from Kaylee Ray superstar, who was a longtime NXT UK Women's Champion. She also fell to Rose, but managed to get in a dig about the champ, quote, falling on her arse at WrestleMania during the build-up. Regardless of that, it now seemed that Mandy Rhodes would be on a course to challenge Asuka for a record-setting 522-day reign with the NXT Women's Championship. I'm still not seeing any failings, you're saying to yourself. Hold on, where does this go south? Don't worry, the ball is about to be dropped. Rose's run at the top of NXT came to an abrupt and sudden end on the December 13th, 2022 episode of WWE NXT, toppled once and for all by the new to NXT but still very acclaimed Roxanne Perez. This capped off an impressive 413-day reign for the Toxic Attraction leader, who had seemed unbeatable until now. At first glance, it seemed that Rose was dropping the title in preparation for a return to the main roster, or perhaps maybe something different for Toxic Attraction. But this was not the case, as Mandy would be shockingly released by WWE just 24 hours after her title reign came to an end. And the story that came from it became one that really stirred up the conversation online. The story basically breaks down to this. WWE had some type of internal dispute over content that Mandy Rhodes was producing for her Fan Time account. WWE's officials had deemed the content too explicit, claimed it was a violation of her contract with the company. Just like that, Mandy was gone from WWE as one of the...
I think they should have just suspended her. It's not like she failed the wellness policy. It's not like she got into a DUI. It's not like she did a hit and run. It's not like she has a mugshot out there. And how many mugshots of wrestlers do we got out there while they were in WWE? Some of them are still in WWE right now. So I just feel like compared to what other people have done and seen their, like Jimmy Uso got a legit the same week he beat Ray and Dominic for the tag titles when he just returned. That same week, right before, a few days before that event, I think it was SummerSlam probably, guess what? He got arrested with the DUI again. So that's crazy to me. And he won the tag titles. And his punishment was what? Roman saying a little diss at him? Like, come on, man. I'm just saying,
the more
like,
popular new names coming up the ranks. Leaving Toxic Attraction without a leader, they would eventually separate in January of 2023. This seemed like an overreaction in the eyes of some to WWE.
Yes.
And given that Mandy's content was never mentioned in relation to programming or anything on WWE TV and was published independently by her, an independent contractor, it creates a whole other debate that has been in WWE fan circles for quite some time. The nature of her content was also allegedly no more explicit than some of the stuff WWE had put out over the years, leaving them to, in the eyes of some, look hypocritical in hindsight, though there were others
and especially
that said
now with all these thick-ass mamacitas they got on the TV with Jada Parker and Lola Vice and shit. Like, come on,
it's a
man.
Contracted thing. Why would you break your contract? Yeah, it's a debate.
Yeah,
but
you know what
in the
else is a contract thing? Not doing drugs, not breaking the law and all that shit. And how many wrestlers failed the wellness policy? How many wrestlers got arrested? Like, come on, man. Don't give me that fucking shit.
In the eyes of many fans, a one-sided one. Following her release, Rose herself had made several comments about the hypocrisy of WWE making this move, noting that they could still sell merchandise and action figures related to her, despite her no longer being employed by the company. She has also expressed her gratitude for her time with the company in a 2023 interview with TMZ, but also made sure to note that they were not the be-all, end-all when it came to her employment opportunities.
Of course.
And she certainly has been very successful outside of WWE.
She's making more money
so
than ever
for
now.
the arbitrary reason in the eyes of some, WWE pulled the plug on a dominant champion. And
she made more money on OnlyFans than she did in WWE, and she don't even get fucked on OnlyFans.
Successful.
At least that's what I heard. I actually don't buy her OnlyFans or any OnlyFans for that matter.
Heel
She probably. Well, I saw on Twitter she collabed with the other chick, Lacey Evans, and it looked like just bikini pics and them laying on each other. So
that they had been building for over a year. No payoff, no rematches, no main roster run, just a cold, swift end. Leaving fans to wonder if this version of Mandy Rhodes, with or without Toxic Attraction, could ever be replicated within NXT or WWE in general. As of 2024, Mandy has still not returned to the pro wrestling ring, despite her ongoing gratitude for fan support, but we all know you can never say never in the world of professional wrestling. So don't be surprised to see Mandy show up somewhere for one more run before she hangs up her boots for good. And that's it for this video. Are you a Mandy Rhodes fan? Would you like to see her return to pro wrestling or WWE? Let us know in the comments.
Nah, man, it's crazy. She had potential, but WWE was hypocritical, was being hypocrites because of that whole thing. So, but yeah, there's nothing much I can say. I already made a video about it. I might add it in towards the end if I can find it. It's an old video. I'll put it there. So yeah, but like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and yeah, happy holidays, y'all, and peace.